Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.
Thank you for listening to this St. Louis on the Air podcast, supported by University College at Washington University, offering approachable world-class education with undergraduate and graduate programs, part-time, evening, and online. University College at Washington University.
Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Don Marsh. Golfing is an activity typically associated with the outdoors, but this summer, the Sheldon Art Galleries is turning that concept inside out with a unique and interactive exhibit. It's a playable 9-hole putt-putt golf course with each hole designed by a different artist. Here's producer Alex Heuer, who recently checked out the indoor course and attempted to keep his score under par.
Golf the Galleries, artist-designed mini golf, is the newest exhibit at the Sheldon Art Galleries. And just as it sounds, it's mini golf in an art gallery. The director is Olivia Lahs-Gonzales, and she's with me here now at this golf course. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, and glad you're here.
I have to be honest, there's a lot of galleries in St. Louis. There are a lot of art exhibits in St. Louis, but this one got my attention because it's like none I've ever seen before. Why golf and art?
Well, it brings together design aspects and play, so art and fun. And it's a concept that actually the Walker Art Center in Minneapolis and Indianapolis Museum of Art, among others, have brought to their museums. And we became aware of that and thought it would be great to do something similar here in St. Louis. So that's how the idea was born.
So is it more art or is it more golf?
Well, I would say it's both, for sure. We have invited artists, visual artists, as well as architects, designers, graphic designers, to propose golf holes. And so the combination that we have here currently will really speaks to all of that.
Can you give an example of how this 9-hole mini golf course is geared toward St. Louis specifically?
Well, it's not really necessarily geared towards St. Louis specifically. We didn't really put any parameters on our artists when we put the call out for proposals, but there is one golf hole by Switch that does celebrate the newly opened Arch Grounds and Arch, and so you will be able to putt your way through the downtown St. Louis as a giant and having your ball end up in the river. And the arch also lights up when you do that. So,
you want your ball to go in the river?
Yes, exactly.
See, I would think just the opposite, that you'd want to try to keep the ball out of the river.
Well, yes, they decided it would be fun to have it go in the river.
I hope to get to that hole in just a little bit, but we're standing here at hole 1. Can you tell me a little bit about this one?
Well, this is done by Andy Van Meter of Canon Design, and it's very much an architectural hole. So it employs a lot of the crafts and ideas that they're so famous for, and it was put together with laser cutting and computer technology, as well as, of course, the vision of the architect. So it's a very architectural and very beautiful hole.
And can you describe the way that it looks?
So it's actually 3 arches, sort of a wave form, and across the top is a green. And it depends on which way your ball goes as to whether it's an easy hole or a more difficult hole. So if you hit your ball and it goes in one direction through the curve, then you end up on the far side and you have to kind of putt your way around to the hole. But if you bank it a certain way and go through the other side, then your ball ends up right close to the hole, and therefore you could do it in 2, perhaps.
Can we give it a shot?
Sure, we can give it a shot.
Okay. That was pretty close.
All right, you did it.
All right. Okay, it's your turn, Olivia.
Here we go.
Whoa! Okay, redo. So now, I did hear that later this afternoon, some of the staff here at the Sheldon are gathering to test their abilities. Is that right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah, we're going to all give it a try.
And have there been people who have already tried?
Yes, definitely. We did have to do some testing in order to determine pars for the holes, and so last week we did that.
So what's par on this hole one?
That is actually a 2.
Oh, okay. So I have a good shot because I'm just outside the hole. And you, Olivia?
Well, I have had mixed results. So sometimes I do really well, and sometimes I do terribly, and the ball goes flying all over the gallery.
Well, practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
But in terms of flying all over the gallery, it does occur to me that this is a nice art gallery. How concerned are you about balls getting launched throughout the gallery and maybe doing some damage?
Well, not terribly concerned. I mean, we don't have any paintings or sculptures or anything of the kind up in the galleries currently. We do have some photographs by Simon Martin, but we're not too worried about that.
Okay, now that we're done with hole 1, let's make our way over to hole 4. I hear it's an Alice in Wonderland themed hole.
Exactly, yes. And she did it to celebrate the Sheldon Art Galleries' 20th anniversary, which will be happening this year. And so she has even put together a whole tea party that celebrates that anniversary.
And as we're walking through the gallery, we're passing, which hole is this here?
This is by the Chess Hall of Fame, the World Chess Hall of Fame, and it's called Mate in 4. And it presents a chess problem, and the chess pieces act as obstacles to your ability to get in the hole. And then around the walls, you'll see the chess problem of getting a mate in 4 moves explained.
Interesting. Okay, well, we're right here, of course, next to hole 3 is hole 4, and this is a large hole. Is this the largest of the exhibit?
Well, I would say they're all fairly equal in the space that they occupy.
The first thing that really jumped out to me is a very scary-looking Cheshire cat.
Right. Definitely a wonderful addition to this room. It kind of captures the whole room and looks over you in its sort of Cheshire smile way as you're putting your ball.
In general, how would you rate the difficulty of this mini golf course compared to other ones?
Well, I would say it's about the same, having played a few in my time. I would say some of the holes are a little more challenging than others. So there are holes that are a par 2, and I think the hardest one is a par 4.
Mm-hmm. And the par on this one?
This one is a par 3.
Okay, and then it is just very beautiful. I mean, you can tell that there's a lot of effort and intention that's gone into the design of this one, from the teapot to the Cheshire cat that we mentioned. There's clocks. I mean, it really is beautiful.
Yeah, this was done by Natalie Pinson, who is an interior designer. So she uses a lot of fabrics, obviously, in her work, and so that really came out in the design of the whole. So you see the tree has a lot of integrated woven textiles, and then all the roses that she and some of her friends made for the rose bushes, and just a really clever way that she's done the wall design, and of course the fun tilting tea party table.
Mm-hmm. And I see that on the cake it says 20th anniversary, which is the nod to, as you mentioned,
exactly,
the 20th anniversary of the Sheldon Art
That's
Galleries.
Right, and actually it's the un-anniversary, as it is in Alice in Wonderland. So.
All right. Now, be honest with me. When's the last time that you were on a mini golf course? Not at the Sheldon.
I would say last summer.
Okay, so I'm a little surprised by that, because most of the time people associate it with something in your youth, or maybe doing with kids, maybe a high school activity?
Sure. Well, I have a daughter, so we go once a year. We go and to a hotel that actually has a mini golf course, which is, I think, actually a little bit more challenging than this even. And but this is really for all ages, definitely for all ages.
You're definitely thinking to get maybe a different kind of museum goer or gallery goer here with young children.
Definitely. I mean, I think it will appeal to art lovers as well as those who perhaps don't visit museums that often. So it's really a combination of art and play. And so I think it will appeal to a lot of people. And it's really the only mini golf course that is in this central area. So we're excited about that too.
All right, there's one more hole that I want to check out before we leave, and that's hole number 7, and that's called the Gateway Green, a hole-in-one for STL. Can we make our way that way?
Definitely.
All right. Okay, we've just made our way to hole 7, and in the process of getting here, there was a hole that used blacklight, and there's one just behind us that has cardboard, and they were both very interesting. And it strikes me that not only is it about the design of the hole, but the art part of it also incorporates lighting and even the material that the hole is made out of. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we really wanted immersive experiences, and so when we put the call out for proposals, we very much stressed that we wanted the artist to think about the room as a whole rather than just the single object that you putt through, so that the walls might be integrated as well. And so all of our artists really came through in that way. Justin King, who uses cardboard in his art to create these amazing tall animal sculptures. And so what you'll be seeing when you go through his hole is these animals doing human-like activities in a park-like setting, but everything is literally made of cardboard, and it's really quite wonderful. And then Gray for Scale has done a blacklight lit hole. So when you're in there, it's a very atmospheric place, and if you wear the right colors of clothing, you yourself will glow as you go through.
Okay, so now we're here at hole 7, and it is the Gateway Arch is right in front of us, as is the old courthouse, and it's a rather long hole, I'd say, maybe one of the longest if it's straight out, at least of the ones that I've seen so far. What went into this hole?
Well, I think Switch wanted to celebrate the arch and the opening of the new arch grounds and the museum, and so that's the subject of their hole. And so there's a couple of different ways that you can putt through. You can either putt up through the actual old courthouse or along the sides, and depending on where your ball ends up, you can get an easy hole-in-one, or it might take you a little longer.
All right, well, I'm going to take a shot at this one. This is a par 2 or 3?
This is par 3.
Okay.
There's also a plinko involved in this one, so it kind of it's a bit of luck depending on where your ball ends up in this one.
Okay, well, here goes. Okay, I'm going to do that one over. Knock this in. All right, well, that took me 2 shots. Oh, and then it lit up.
Yeah, the arch will light up when your ball goes in the hole.
That's cute. And I definitely noticed that there's a park over the highway. I think it would have been much more difficult had there not been a park.
Exactly, yeah. So there's a number of different ways that you can get to the hole, but certainly You can drop in the center and go right straight in, or you can work your way around.
What are the details concerning admission for kids and adults?
Adults are $10, kids $6. If you're a Sheldon member, it's $8 and $4. And then we also have group rates.
And I also saw that you have certain themed nights.
That's right. Yeah, on our website we have a superhero night, we have a Harry Potter night, and several others as well. Pride night. And yeah, definitely. So there will be extra fun things happening on those nights.
Well, Olivia Lahs-Gonzales, thank you so much for this tour and for playing some mini golf with me.
Thanks so much. I think I need some practice.
Couldn't we all use it?
That was Olivia Lahs-Gonzales, director of Sheldon Art Galleries, talking about the new exhibit, Golf at the Galleries, with producer Alex Heuer. Archive versions of past St. Louis On the Air programs are available for download or podcast at stlpublicradio.org. St. Louis On the Air is produced by Alex Heuer, Evie Hemphill, and Laura Hamden, with production assistance from Aaron Dorr, Charlie McDonald, and Caitlin Lally. The executive producer is Mary Edwards. St. Louis On the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio 90.7 KWMU. Thank you for listening. I'm Don Marsh.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.